So if I want to select any of the thing inside the table, yes, it's possible. That's possible using the select keyword. So whenever you go forward with installing this Python programming or any of the Python IDE, this Sqlite will also be installed with the same thing. This is a single executable statement which is responsible for multiple operations like insert, create, select. Hello everyone, I welcome you all to the second session of Unit 4 that's under Python programming. Unit 4 is all about Python Sqlite. Over here, my name is Deepa Kutnikar. I'm working as an assistant professor at the Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Let's begin our session and see what's the agenda of today's session. In today's session, we will be discussing regarding Python Sqlite. So we will be initially starting with the introduction. Further, we will be understanding the Sqlite 3 module. So yes, this is the latest version of SQL that is being considered under Python programming. So you'll be studying the method as well as modules. Then further, the Sqlite methods like cursor, connect, execute, close, etc. Further, we will be also studying how to connect to a database. Then how to create a table. Further, we will also be seeing how to update or how to do the operations on table like updating, accessing, deleting, dropping the records, etc. So this is the agenda of today's session. So let's begin our session with understanding what is Sqlite. Sqlite is a lightweight as well as serverless self-contained database. The data is stored in a single file and it doesn't need any of the separate configuration or installation types. So whenever you go forward with installing this Python programming or any of the Python IDE, this Sqlite will also be installed with the same thing. Thus, we can say that the Python will provide the built-in support for this Sqlite 3 module, and the main applications of these are being utilized in many small web applications, mobile applications, and yes, absolutely, in our desktop applications too. So these are the various applications where we can use this Sqlite modules. Yes, over here we can observe that these are the self-contained databases. So it has its own database. It is a very lightweight and even serverless. So we can write a program and it can be sent to Sqlite module. So through this, we can understand that the Python has a built-in Sqlite module in it. All right, let's move forward. Now, it's a very good thing that we will be understanding that why to use Sqlite with the Python programming. By combining Sqlite with a Python programming, we can design many small applications, or we can also do the student level projects in our colleges. Thus, combination will work very nicely and it is very easy to learn, and as we know, there is no separate server is required for this, and moreover the Python will support the standard SQL command. So by using this, a student or any of a developer can go with developing the first phase of the complex projects or a complete student level projects using this combination of Sqlite and a Python programming. All right, up next, the Sqlite 3 module. All right, now we did understood like what is the importance of combining Sqlite with Python. Now let's move forward and understand which is the exact version of Sqlite that's available right now. Yes, that is none other than Sqlite 3. So this is a version that is very latest. It is supported by Python programming. It is used to interact with Sqlite databases, and the Sqlite 3 is a standard library that is being utilized inside Python programming. As we know, it is a built-in function, correct, or a built-in method. So that method has to be imported through a library. So the library that supports this Sqlite standard commands are none other than Sqlite 3, and the simple syntax for this is none other than import Sqlite 3. So that is a library that we are importing in order to work with combining Sqlite commands. Alright, now let's move forward with Sqlite 3 methods. The first method is a connect off. So this is a Sqlite method, as the name itself says. It is used to connect a Python program as well as a Sqlite database files. Or we can also say that this method is responsible for creating connection between the Python programs as well as the Sqlite databases. Next one is a cursor. This cursor is an object and it is being created to execute the SQL commands and fetch the data from the databases. The next method is a execute of. This is a single executable statement which is responsible for multiple operations like insert, create, select. Whatever you give as a keyword, that operation will be executed. The next method is none other than commit. This is responsible for saving the exact file into databases. Or we can say that any of the updates that is being done and it has to be saved, right? So the saving will be done for permanently. The next method is a close. This is responsible to close the database connections and also it releases all the related resources that is being utilized. So these are the overview of simple SQLite methods. Now let's understand each of the methods in depth, starting with a connect method. As we know that it is being used to create a connection between the Python program as well as a SQLite databases. If a database is not there, then during the connection it will be created automatically because it's required, correct? We need to create a connection between them. So it will be done automatically if it does not exist. All right, let's see a syntax over here. Connection equals SQLite 3.connect off. So what is the thing that needs to be connected? We have to write it over here or specify it, student.db. And over here we can observe this connection object that is being created. Thus, we can consider the student.db has a database file name. And over here we have a small representation of this method. Over here what happens? We have a Python database and a MySQL connector Python followed by Python application and a database. Now what happens? Through a connect which has been initiated, it is been forwarded to the database through a connection request. Okay, if it's done, next what's the thing? It has to reply if it is connected or not connected. Yes, it's connected. So further a cursor will be created. So what is cursor? Will running next. Next, that cursor will be executed and the result data will be sent into the Python connector. So this is a simple flow, that's a regular flow that's been represented over here in the figure. Cursor, as we know that it is being utilized to execute the SQL commands and it oftenly acts as a bridge between the Python as well as a SQLite databases. A simple syntax for it is followed like this. CUR is an object that has been created for connect.cursor of. So this is a simple syntax for a cursor. So over here we can observe that we have a declaration statement. So the main thing with respect to cursor is it is used to execute the SQL commands, correct? So it will verify whether a command is open. So it will go forward with fetching for the commands. That's for SQL commands. If the command is not there, then it will go with further fetching. If a command is there, then okay, it will execute and close the program. Further, it will be deallocated to some other object. So this is a simple flow of declare. The next method is none other than a simple execute method. This is used to execute a single statement. It is responsible to execute create table, insert, select, update, and if any deletion is required, yes, we can do it along with this commands. Thus, let's see a simple syntax. It's cur.execute for the statement, whatever we have to execute. So here I am considering SQL statements. So this will be executed at the output. So that's our execute method. Next one is a simple commit and close method. So over here, the first thing is commit. It is used to save the changes permanently into the database, and it is must and should required after few of the operations like insert, update, delete, etc. Let's see a simple syntax. So it forms in this way: connect dot commit off. So this is with respect to commit method. The next method we do have is none other than a simple close method. So this is responsible for closing the database as well as the allocated resources during the executions. A simple syntax is connect dot close off. So this is a syntax for close off method. Thus, we have understood various Sqlite methods, correct? Let's move forward and see how to initiate or connect to a database. So, it means like we are creating or initiating a connection between the database. Alright, let's start with a simple example. So, we need Sqlite 3 library, right? So, that's our initial thing. We are importing Sqlite 3 library followed by connect of Sqlite 3 dot connect. So what it has to be connected? A database. So the name of the database is college database that is being created. Further, we are writing a cursor. So that's a cursor object that we are creating. Connect dot cursor of in order to execute the command. Followed by the print statement. The print statement, what it has to show? It has to show a result message which says that database connected successfully. So this is a small example through which we can create the connection between the database. Up next, let's see how to create a table. So this is a thing that is being required for practical examples, right? So creating table, it just means that we are creating a table with a rows as well as columns, correct? And the most important thing, the SQL command that creates a table is none other than create table. Great. Let's create a table through an example. So we are starting with cur.execute of create table student. So we are creating a table with the name student. So what it should include? It should include rows and columns, correct? So in the rows, what it has to fill? Roll number, integer, primary key. All right. Up next, it will create a text, and further the data type for marks is a integer. We are storing a student database in our table. So these are the things that we can consider. Further, we want to clarify it or confirm it, right? So we are writing a statement connect.commit. Through this, we can create a table according to our requirement. All right, if I want to insert any of the elements inside a table, so how is it to be done? So let's see that. That's through insert operation. So we will use to add new records into a table. Please cut last sentence. Let's start. Insert is used to add a new record into that table, and we can write a SQL command that is none other than insert into. All right. So let's see example for that too. We are writing a create.execute, that is insert into student values. So what are the things that has to be entered? It is none other than 1 Ravi 85. So this is the data that has to be updated or inserted into my table. So I have to confirm that. That's through connect.commit. All right, it's done, and at the output, what do we get? Should be inserted, and along with that, a display message showing one record inserted to the table successfully or something, whatever you give it inside the print statement. Now let's see if there is a requirement of updating multiple elements or inserting multiple records at the same time, how to do that. So let's see this through an example. We are creating a student, yes, student of We are writing the student data, Anita and Kiran. Okay, that's done. Let's close that. Up next, we are creating that what is that? Cursor.execute many. So execute many, it says that I have multiple records to execute. All right, insert into student values followed by the students. Okay, so once I write the things, I have to confirm that by writing the statement connect.commit. Thus, at the output, it should be inserted in the table, and in the same way, it has to show us a result message which says that multiple records inserted successfully into the student table. The next thing that has to be done is select operation. So if I want to select any of the thing inside the table, yes, it's possible. That's possible using the select keyword, which is usually used to retrieve the records from the table. All right, let's see an example here. Cursor.execute of select from student. Up next, we need to write a rows that says that cursor.fetch all for row in rows. What it has to print? A row, full row. Up next, cursor.execute of select and from student. Up next, let's confirm it by writing or by assigning. Thus, we are assigning rows equals cursor.fetch all. So that's a method that we have created. It will be initiated into rows followed by a simple for loop in order to write the number of rows and finally to print the rows. So after execution of this, at the output, we will be getting these things like the student details or the selected student details. The next thing is the update operation inside the table. This is used to modify the data inside the table, and the keyword that's been utilized is, or the SQL command that has been utilized is none other than update. Let's say an example here, cursor.execute of update student set marks equals 95 followed by the roll number where it has to be updated. So this is the reference to that. So once I'm done with this, I have to confirm that this is right. So for that, I'll be writing this connect.commit statement. Once the execution is completed at the output, the table will be updated. Along with that, it can show us a statement of record with roll number 1 is updated successfully. The next operation is none other than delete operation inside a table. So if any one of a element inside the table has to be deleted, then we can do that by using this simple SQL command, that's none other than delete, that is used to remove the specific records. All right, let's see an example. Cursor.execute delete from student where roll number 3. So I have to confirm it by writing the statement connect.commit of. Thus, at the output, the table has to be updated by deleting that element, and along with it can show us a output statement that record with roll number 3 deleted successfully. Okay, up next is dropping a complete table. I don't want to delete the elements. I just want to drop the complete table. So how is it possible? That's by using a simple SQL command, that is drop table, which is used to permanently delete the table. Let's say an example, cursor.execute of drop table student, and I have to mention the table name and confirm it by writing connect.commit. Thus, at the output, what I can expect, the table is been dropped or permanently deleted with a statement of student table dropped successfully. So these are the operations that is possible with respect to a table. Thus, in our next session, we will be discussing regarding data analysis, pandas, as well as the dictionary tuple operations on data frames. So these are the things that we discuss in our upcoming session. So till then, thank you.